How to install a dresser coupling. How to install a compression coupling. How to install a coupling on a galvanized water line. I don't know. I'm trying to think of all the tags for YouTube right now. But this is it. I'm going to do it right this time, folks. About 3 years ago, I did a video right here of me installing one of these, and I didn't show how to actually install it, and I got a lot of hate from that. So I'm gonna do it right this time. So literally I was right here, and now we're right here. This is full of water. So I'm gonna pump this out, and it's gonna be a little different this time, but I'll give you tips and tricks on how to do this if you're not capping it, because I'm gonna cap this today, and this is all I'm gonna need. But if you're not capping it, it makes it a little bit more difficult, but I'll get into that once I pump this out. The water mains. I don't remember which one it was, but it's one of those. Okay, since I'm capping this, it's gonna be a lot easier, because I'm gonna cut in the middle here, then cut that back, and then this is basically going to be in there like that, and then done, right? But if you're not capping it and you're keeping it, let me illustrate what you would need to do. Like I said, I want to make sure this video helps everybody. So okay, so let's say you're keeping the pipe, and you have a section open in the ground like we have right here. Let's say that's the pipe, right? So what you're going to want to do is take the dresser coupling, mark and mark, right? You want to make sure you cut a section out of the pipe so you can get this on, but don't cut too much to where, you know, if you cut it, let's say this is the continuous pipe, right? If you cut it here and here, then the dresser coupling's not going to be able to sit on there. But let's say you cut it here and here. So okay, we've cut the pipe, right? Now a lot of times you'll have a little bit of play. Even if it's buried like this, you'll be able to pull just a little bit. So what you're going to want to do is take it, and you would put this side on first, right? Slip that side on and make it go all the way over, then the little gasket, and then this thing. I'm not going to push it on because normally I would cut these threads off because I don't want it to damage the rubber thing. But just imagine that being on, and we push this to the side, right? So you would do the same with this side, but on this one, right? So then you have both of these on, so then you're left with this. Now, if you have a little bit of play, you're going to be able to pull this a little bit, or take a shovel, or like a pick or something, and just use leverage just to pull this up or pull it to the side, just enough to where you can slip that thing on there. And once you slip that on, then you just slide it back over, right? Because they don't have, it's not like a copper slip coupling where you want them to be against each other like that. I mean, there's gonna be some play. But if you take a shovel and you get it down there and you put some force on it, you'll be able to move that. Now if it's really deep and you can't move it at all, then you're kind of up a creek. But for a scenario like this, if I cut that and I put a shovel under this and I just push up, it'll lift up. It'll lift up enough to where I can get this on. That's what I had to do with this one. Actually, as a matter of fact, with that one, I just pulled up on my hand and I was able to just slide it on. But if you're not trying to save the line, capping it is much easier. We're just gonna cut it, and then you're done. I hope that made sense. I'm trying to explain this as best as I can. Another thing is you want to try and make this pipe as smooth as possible. And with galvanized, you're gonna have some caked up dirt that's like as hard as a rock. So you want to be very careful with making sure the pipe is as round and smooth as possible. It's very important to do that. And if you have a bandsaw and you can get one in there, it's best to cut it with a bandsaw versus a sawzall, because the sawzall vibrates the heck out of the line, and it will cause leaks if it's old enough galvanized. But I would say the hardest part of this is actually making sure this pipe is nice and smooth, because that is really crusty, dude. So, you just take a flathead screwdriver or a chisel and just gently knock it out. So that's decent. I need to get it a little bit more, but you want to use some sandpaper, right, on all sides before you install it. And also, if you're capping it, I always cut the threads off of one side, because you don't want to shove that grommet over these threads. It might slice the little grommet. But just get you a little sandpaper, any kind of sandpaper. Just clean that sucker off as good as you can, and then cut it. So I'm going to cut this real quick, and hope it doesn't cause any more leaks. Okay, cut it. I'm going to cap this side. You want to wrench this down, obviously, before you put it into the dresser coupling. I'm going to cut the threads off of this side. Make sure you use a little plumber's tape to seal it. I'm going to have to pump the rest of this water out. Also, if you are not capping this, you're going to want to ream the outside and the inside of the pipe. You don't have to, but it's good practice. Just look for you can go on Google and just type in rigid barrel reamer, and it's an inside outside reamer. And you're gonna, if you can, you want to ream it, but in some circumstances you can't. So if that's the case and you can't ream it, then just sand the crap out of it as much as you can. And these dresser couplings are only supposed to be a temporary fix. They're not long-term fixes. Although that's going on 3 years. So but I'm not telling you what to do. Okay, let me pump this out and then we'll get going. All right, this is pretty good. See, you can see every time I hit it. I mean, see all that play I got? I don't know if you can tell on the video, but there's, if I had to, You may need 4 hands. You may need someone, you know, pushing down on this or pulling up on it, but you'll be able to get that dresser coupling on there, unless it's super deep and I don't know what kind of dirt you're working with. But I've had to do this technique 3 or 4 times and I've never had an issue getting it on there. There's also another method where you can use Mega Press, but you know, that's not like a homeowner special. This is like a Home Depot special we're doing here. As a matter of fact, this is probably good enough to get that dresser coupling on there. Maybe want to clean that pipe off a little bit more, but that's pretty good. You know, part of the fail-proof, where'd it go? Well, I don't want to say fail-proof, but the little rubber grommets, if the pipe's not smooth enough, those little rubber grommets won't go on there. So it's kind of like a little safety mechanism, I guess you could say, built into these. But all right. So don't forget you have this little gasket in there. See, already I can tell you that I likely didn't get that pipe clean enough, because I'm having a real hard time getting that. I can't even get this to go on. So that means that the underneath side of that pipe is not clean enough. This is where it gets really hard. This is the hardest part of the job, in my opinion, is breaking off enough gunk on that pipe to be able to get the coupling actually on there. So I'm gonna keep trying to work this underneath. It's annoying. You can't even really see it. I'm gonna keep trying to work that. Okay, got it all on there. So remember, it's the nut first, then the little gasket, and then the rubber grommet. I might have to cut this back a little more, but excuse me. I'll show you on this clean piece of pipe. So this is how you want it right here. So you got the there you go. So you got the nut, you got the little metal washer, and then you have the grommet. And the little metal washer is directional. And you also want to make sure that if you can, get about half and half, right? So, you know, about like that. So that's going to go in there right like that. And then you still have space on this side, right? Remember, tighten this cap down, obviously, before you put it in here. But I could actually go ahead and wrench on this side and get that nice and tight because I'm not going to need to touch that once it's on there. I'm going to have to cut that back more. Dang it. That's all right. do want to get those pretty darn tight. That's on there, man. That is really on there. Remember, it's compression. It's that nut plus that little gasket pressing excuse me, pressing the that rubber grommet in to this to create that seal. So you want to get those pretty darn tight, and you'll feel it start to get pretty hard to turn once you really wrench down on it. But all right, let's go turn the water on, see if there's any leaks. All right. There you go. No leaks. Not a single drip. They work. They work. But you're really relying on that rubber grommet. Once that rubber grommet starts to get crusty and corrode, start to wear out, you're going to have leaks. But those things work, man. I've had great success every time I've used one of those. It does get more difficult when you're trying to keep the line. When you cap it, no problem. But when you're keeping the line and you're just using that as an in-between, it gets harder. But I guess if you had to, you could open up the hole a little bit more in the ground and use 2 of those. That might make it easier. But I've never tried that. This is the location of the last one, right here. I got so much hate on that video. I actually apologize to people. People are like, "Oh, you didn't show the part that I needed to see." I'm like, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry." So there you go. That's pretty much everything you need to know on how to install one of those. All right, have a good one.